Hello students, today we are going to see a new chapter which is known as database concepts. So in this chapter we are going to see the database concepts and relational database, different components of database, types of database models, types of relationship, the concept of relational algebra. So these are all the topics that we are going to see in this chapter. So first of all, introduction. A database is a organized collection of data, generally stored and accessed electronically from a computer system. The term database is also known as it's also used to refer to any of the DBMS, the database system or an application associated with the database. Because of the close relationship between them, the term database is often used casually to refer to both a database and the TBMS used to manipulate it. A school class register is a database where names are arranged alphabetically. Database has been since people start recording things. Hence, we tend to focus on electronic ones. Okay, so here they have given a basic idea about database. Okay, so what is database? Database is a collection of records. Okay, it is a collection of records which is stored electronically. Okay, which is stored electronically in your computer so that you can access it whenever you need it. Okay, so it is organized in such a way that it is stored and retrieved without any hesitation or delay. Okay, so just by giving the query, okay, or just by giving the command, you can receive the data without any hesitation or delay. Okay, so here you can see that the both database and DBMS are different. Okay, but we often refer with the same name, database. Okay, so database is the data, but DBMS is the system or software that manages the database. So it's not a big deal. Okay, so first thing is data. Okay, the first important thing in database is the data. Data are raw facts stored in a computer. Data may contain any character, text, word, or a number. Okay, it can contain any number or text or name or anything. Okay, but it is not organized. Okay, it is a raw fact. Okay, so it may be a number, it may be a name, it may be a text, anything. Okay, but when you process it you get the information. Say for example, you can see that uh, 600006 is a number. DPI campus. So these are all some of the text. Okay, but processed information is a formatted data. Okay, it is grouped or it is formatted or it is organized data is known as information, which allows to be utilized in a significant way. Okay, so the above example is a small piece of text, okay, or data, but here you can see that it is an address of a place. Okay, so it is organized such a way that just by seeing the text itself you can see that it is a address of a place. Okay, so as you can see from the example above, data appears as a set of words and numbers. However, when the data is processed, organized, and formatted, it gives a meaningful information about the institution contact address. Okay, so SC ERT. SEERT is a state textbook corporation. Okay, so that is the address of this place. Okay, so database is a repository collection of related data organized in a way that the data can be easily accessed, managed, and updated. Okay, so it is a repository means it's in a tabular form. Okay, it consists of data in a tabular form. You can access it just by uh, giving the command. Okay, you can access it, you can modify it, you can change it, but it one repository contains related data. Okay, if a repository is for a sales, then it contains only the sales data. It doesn't contain about credit data or debit data. Okay, so related data, so a repository will contain only the related data. Okay, so here I have given some having some example here. Okay, so this is an example of a database. Okay, so this database consists of user ID, username, and password. Okay, so here you can see that it consists of related data. Okay, it consists of only the user data. Okay, username, password, and user ID. So just by giving the user ID one to one, you can access the username of it and password of it. Okay, so this is database. Okay, just I have given only two records here. The first row is the header row. So field name, it can also be called as field name. So this user ID will have only numbers, and the username will have only text. But password is having a symbol right now, but at the background it will have some data. When you access it, it will compare the value. Okay, so this is the repository. It consists of only two records right now, but when you are adding it, it can handle so many data. Okay, so this RDBMS, relational database management system, RDBMS. So DBMS is a software that can handle any number of records in a single table or in a single database, or even it can handle multiple records in multiple databases in multiple tables. Okay, so uh, these are all the examples. Okay, now we'll get back to the chapter here. So yes, here you can see that DBMS is a software that allows us to access, define, manipulate database, allowing user to store, process, and analyze data easily. DBMS provides us with an interface or a tool to perform various operations to create database, storing of data, and for updating data, etc. DBMS also provides protection and security to the database. It is also maintain data consistency in case of multiple users. So here you can see that it is a software. TBMS is a software that allows you to create, manipulate, change, or even store data in it. Okay, so here you can see that it provides you certain tools, or like icons or commands, or just by clicking on it you can create a database. Just by editing you can update it. Okay, so this software will provide certain tools or certain options to create a database or to maintain database. Okay, so and it also provides security. Okay, protection and security for your data, so that unauthorized user cannot able to access it without proper permission. Okay, so and even you can see that it also provides data consistency. Okay, so data consistency means multiple user can access the database. Okay, so each person can have different data. Okay, So this data consistency will be provided by this DBMS, database management system. Okay. So here the characteristics of database management system. uh, database stored database stored in tables. Okay. Data is never stored. Data is directly stored into the database. Data are stored in tables created inside the database. Okay. So you cannot able to store the data directly into the database. Instead, you have to first create the table. You have to form a structure. Okay. So as I said earlier in this example, so I have created a structure. Structure is it this table should contain three columns. First column is user id, second column is username, and the third one is password. Okay. So this kind of structure must be followed in the uh, creation of table. So this table is created, and then only the data will be stored, only the related data. Okay. So only these three values can be stored in the data, can be stored in the table. Other data cannot be stored in the table. Okay. So that's what they're trying to say here. So DVMS is also have a relationship between table, which makes the data more meaningful and connected. Okay. So two tables can be connected to each other in such a way that when you access a table, then you can get the data from another table. Okay. So this is a relationship. Next is reduced redundancy. Okay. In modern world, hard drives are very cheap. Okay. But easier when hard disks are too expensive. But earlier, okay, you can see that in olden days, hard disks are very expensive. Unnecessary unnecessary repetition of data in database was a big problem. But DBMS follows a normalization, which divides the data in such a way that repetition is minimum. Okay. So in olden days, before you can see that before these computers emerged, they'll be taking census means population. Okay. uh, Counting the population. Okay. So if a person is coming again and again, okay, say for example a person is taken is his record is available multiple times, then it affects the population. Okay. Count of the population. Okay. So to avoid this, they provided this computer system so that it will manage the normalization of normalization means it will manage the duplicate records, or the records which are repeated again and again. Okay. And even it can provide minimization of repetition. Okay. So in one country he may be a citizen, but at the same time he would be visited in another country. Okay. So that country also will have the record. Okay. So this kind of repetition is allowed. Okay. So that is minimizing the repetition. Next is data consistency. Okay. On live data, it is being continuously updated and added, maintained. The consistency of data can become a challenge, but DBMS handled it by itself. Okay. So here you can see that when you are using the Facebook, the database of Facebook will be constantly updated. Okay. It be constantly updated. The person so there are millions of person using that database. So when you just click a like button, it will affect the database. Okay. So this database RDMS should constantly watch over the data so that it doesn't lose any data. Okay. Hmm. Next is support multiple user and concurrent access. Okay. So if a person, if this RDBMS supports different types of users, okay, so many users can access data, and simultaneously they can access a single data. Okay, say for example, I'm having a database, so that I'm accessing it, but at the same time my team member is can also access the database at the same time simultaneously. If I make any change, then he would be able to see. If he does any change, then I would be able to see it. Okay, so this kind of concurrent access can be supported by using this DBMS software. Then query language. Okay, query language means it is a separate instruction like Python, SQL. Okay, structured query language is the query language. It consists of some commands so that you can just access the database just by providing the command. Okay, so but nowadays you can see that database management system are available with the GUI interface. Okay, you can just click on the table or click on the value to change it or to create table, something like that. Okay, so next is security means you can see that it provides full protection towards your data. Unauthorized person cannot be able to access your data. And in a typical DBMS, we can create user account with different access permission, using which we can easily secure our data by restricting the user access. Okay, so when you create a user, this user will have some rights. Okay, so he can view it, he can able to he can able to edit it, or he can able to delete it. Okay, so these kind of actions or rights can be given to a single user so that he can able to change the data. If you want, you can able to restrict the data access of a person or even a user. So next is DBMS support transactions. Okay, so it allows us to better handle and manage data integrity in real world application with multiple threads in inst extensively used. Multi-threading is extensively used. Okay, so multi-threading means multiple process can run at the same time. Okay, so this kind of multi-threading process uh, can be supported in this DBMS. So of the advantages of DBMS, segregation of segregation of application program, minimum data duplication or data redundancy, easy retrieval of data using query language, reduce development time and maintenance. Okay, so these are all the advantages of DBMS. Next is components of DBMS. So these are all the necessary things that are needed when you are creating a database. Okay, so the database system can be divided into five major components as follows. First one is hardware, second one is software, third one is data, fourth one is procedure or method. Okay, and the fifth one is database access language. So these are all the this is the structure. Okay, so this is a component of database. The first thing is hardware. The computer, hard disk, IO channel of data and other physical components involved in storage of data must be compulsory. Okay, so without particular hardware you cannot able to access the or you cannot able to create a database. Okay, next is software. This main component of the this main component is a program that controls everything. The DBMS software is capable of understanding the database access language and interpret into database command for execution. Okay, so this is the main component that controls everything here. Okay, so this software is having some tools or having some commands, so that when you try to access the data, it will interpret into machine language and take the data and convert it back the machine level language into high level language. Okay, so the next thing is data. Okay, so first is hardware, second is software, now the third thing is data. Okay, without data, all the above things, okay, software and hardware is useless. Okay, so you have the resources, you must have the resources. It is the resource for which DBMS is designed. Okay, DBMS is to store and utilize data. DBMS is created to store and utilize data. Next is procedure. So it is a general instruction to use database management systems such as installation of DBMS, managing database to take backup, report generation, etc. Okay, so these are all the set of actions that has to be done when you are trying to create a database, or when you are trying to update some data in a database. So this is a procedure. Okay, you have to click here, and then you have to click here, and then you have to type the data, and then you have to store it. So if you want to edit it, you have to select the data. So these are all the different procedures that has to be followed to do some actions in database. So next is database access language. So there are the language used to write commands to access, insert, update, delete data stored in any database. So this language is it is a query language that is used to give generate a command, and that command will be executed in the computer, and the computer will take the data and retrieve back to the user. So this language is a commands. Okay, so this commands can be used to get the data, or you can just click on that particular place to edit the data. Okay, so this is the accessing language. Okay, so commonly used accessing language for database is SQL, which is structured query language. So with this, we'll finish the class. We'll see the rest of the things, which is database structure and other things in the next class. Thank you, students.